Speedy's Garage YouTube channel. I've got my wristband on, so it's that time of year again. We are heading to Bowling Green, Kentucky for the 12th annual Challenger Fest. So let's just get to it. All right, here we go. Challenger Fest 2021. Gonna make a pass on E85, see how it goes. Spun big time. That sucked. A little too much power in it. Woo! Thank you. Yeah, had a 1960 foot 11.0 at 138. So we're gonna have to be careful about that when we're competing.
Come to Challenger Fest to watch badass Challengers and Chargers, and in your index final you get a station wagon and a pickup truck, and I love it. I can't even get on the Wi-Fi back here on the wall. The pickup.
Pit area, it's the same one we've had the entire week or long extended weekend for Challenger Fest and Moparty. Pretty good spot right behind the bleachers at the track. The only problem is it's a little noisy with some of the open header nostalgia type cars. This is where we've been hanging out. Well, here we are at Holly's second annual Moparty 2021. We're in Go Man Go. We're going to head down to Tech, get the car teched in, and get ready for some racing with Holly. tech, no problem. We're going to run in the Moparty Hellcat class. I had to get a clarification on the rule. They said unmodified, but the guy said he means like no chopping of the body or anything like that. They said like pulleys and tunes and all that are good to go, and they said if they said completely stock, they would only have like 2 cars racing, which is probably true. So we're gonna go back to the pits, get ready to get set up for the day. Dude, that sounds so cool. That line like that. All right, first test pass at Moparty. We call it qualifying, but it's really testing.
A little bit of everything back there. Be sure to go back and manufacture the way. You got super shops back there.
Good pass. The track's pretty nice. Car was a little warm. I sat, but other than that, that was a pretty good test run. I think probably the only one we're gonna do today. Got you doing double duty today?
Me?
Got you doing double duty?
Oh yeah.
Thanks for keeping us safe, man. Oh yeah. I'm shooting for a 10.0 and I ran a 10.06. That's great. 10.06 in the heat with the car warmed up, which is exactly what I wanted to do. I can work on the reaction time just a tick. It was 0.3, but it's a Pro Tree, which I'm not 100% used to. So I think we're right on the money. All right, this is my second qualifier at Moparty. The calendar or the schedule has been insane because of the weather. Shooting for a 10.0. After this, I got to declare my time that I'm going to actually have on my index. So 10.0 is what I'm going to shoot for. Doing some prep in front of me. I guess that because of the rain, the water's dripped on the track. Good opportunity for the car to get hot, but that's okay. I'm index racing, so I just want it to be consistent. Got a demon in the right lane. I'm in the left lane at Beach Bend, my least favorite. On the wind light, but I don't know if I was just too fast. I'm hoping I ran right at 10.0. I chopped the throttle just a little bit early because I wasn't sure. I was way out ahead of him. I spun just a hair on the 1-2 shift, but other than that, it was good. Woo. Humidity. It's not hot, it's really humid. Man. See how we did. Come on, 10-0 or something close.
Whenever you're around that area,
Thank you. Oh crap, I ran a 999. Oops. So I knew I was a little fast. Yeah, I ran a 999.1. I got to be careful about that, and I chopped the throttle early. I got to remember that. I mean, I'm happy I ran a 9, but I wish it had been a 10.0. But 999, I broke out by 9 thousandths. Okay, so here's the deal. I have run a 10.08, a 10.06, and a 9.991 like you saw. They use they're pretty strict about the NHRA rules here. Not that they shouldn't be, but they're pretty strict. And they said that I cannot put an index dial on this car unless it's certified NHRA to run below that number or run that number. And so technically these cars are legal to 10.00. And they wouldn't let me put like a 991 or 992 to make sure I didn't break out, and then I would just try to shoot for 10.0. So I had to index 10.00 on the car, and that 991, 9 thousandths of a second. So we're just going to put that on there and hope for the best and wait for our first round of eliminations, which should be coming up in about an hour. Well, here I go. Round 1 eliminations in the Hellcat Red Eye Demon class. 10.00 is the goal, remember?
139 on the tree for Chris Yu. It was 1151 on the 1150. Kyle Johnson 230. 11.
Guy next to me dialed on 1155, so he's going to leave a second and a half before I do, which is going to be really weird.
Now 1070.
Got him. I had to lay off. I had to let off, but I got him.
Jay Oren wins it, 271 on the tree, 1012 on the 10 flat. Hale breaks it out and goes home. Mike England, Daniel Cohen. England the left side, 10 flat.
I think I heard him say I ran a 10.12, so I actually could have stayed in it, I think. We're going to see.
Red light by a country mile, Mike England. Daniel Cohen, 220 on the tree, goes 1054 on the 1050 at 129 miles an hour and wins it.
Thank you. 10.12, 127. I let out. Because I didn't want to go blowing by him and break out. Reaction time was 0.271, which is acceptable. 154 60 foot. Track was pretty good. Round 1 out of the way. Looks like we're going to have about 4 rounds to go. I doubt very seriously if you can see me, but I'm racing the second round in Hellcat Red Eye Demon at Moparty against Dan Coney, who's a good buddy of mine that comes up to the track with me and Chad all the time. So this is going to be interesting, but if he boots me out, at least I lost to a friend and he can continue on. Can't see the groove, that's going to be tricky.
Nostalgia Superstock, Nostalgia Superstock on each of the lanes, please. Nostalgia Superstock on each of the lanes.
He got me, but it was super close.
Top of it by about a tenth of a second. Goes 1051 on the 1050. Jay Orr was 337 on the tree and 10.05.2.
Dang, that was so close. It's going to be hundredths of a second. It's going to be hundreds. I doubt you guys can even see me. It's really dark.
Kingston Springs, Tennessee.
I'm about to see what time it is. I think I ran a 10:05, but I think it got me on that reaction time. It's so hard when they leave before you do.
Over the Budweiser side of the drag strip.
Thank you.
Here we go. A little bit of time.
Yeah, he got me. God, it was so close.
He's down in front. Heads up for the finish line.
I let it eat.
This one's tied. Oh, Chad. Chad got it done. James Reeves.
A friend of mine gets to continue on. It was fun. We're gonna get cleaned up, change the tires back over, get this thing back in street mode, and head back to the hotel. Headed back to Middle Tennessee from both ChallengerFest and Moparty, and we had a blast. We raced until after dark like last night, as you saw. Was exhausted, but an awesome time. The weather has been really crazy, so we got very lucky and blessed for ChallengerFest. The weather was great. It was a little warm for September, not terrible, but just warmer than normal for this time of year in this part of the world. But other than that, beautiful, partly cloudy skies, car show, everything went great. Racing was great. And then for Moparty, it rained on Saturday morning, like we said, and then cleared off. And we had a great day yesterday. The front came through or something again and kind of dropped the temperatures down a little bit, so it was nice. When we packed up, it was a little bit humid, but other than that, no problem. And then poured down rain again this morning, which is Sunday, and they actually called the racing because they weren't able to get the track dry at Moparty, and they had a couple of rounds left to finish in Hellcat and 1320. Those are the two I was kind of keeping up with. And I think they had 2 rounds left in Hellcat and maybe 2 or 3 left in 1320. But they had a great big rumble class, and I think there were still like 12 cars left in it. And so what they decided to do, since they called the racing, is they're just going to take the prize pool and just peanut butter spread it across whoever was left in the race class. And I guess that's the fairest way to do it when something like this happens. But we're headed back to the shop, back to Middle Tennessee, so let's get back. We're back at the shop, and I gotta say I am super impressed with Go Man Go. My goal was 10.0s, and I think ran 6 passes, and 5 of them were 10.0 something, 10.06, 10.05, 10.07, somewhere around in there. I had one that wasn't quite right, and it's because I got a little too aggressive and gave it too much loud pedal off the line and spun. But other than that, super consistent, did exactly what I wanted it to do. The weather was crazy. So we had great weather for ChallengerFest, thank God. Moparty got a little interesting. They did their best with the schedule. I probably, if I had been running the racing, I might have done a couple of things different, but there's always something behind the scenes that we as participants might not know about. There might have been an OSHA regulation for how long people could work, or who knows, right? But they had to call it, or they ended up calling it about 8 p.m. They planned to finish the racing on Sunday, like I said, and it washed out. So they just spread the prize pool across the remaining cars in the class, which is about the fairest way to do it. I might have tried to run a little bit more racing out on Saturday night, but again, there's probably a bunch of stuff that we don't quite know about, or as participants don't have a behind the scenes, behind the curtain kind of view into. But very happy with Go Man Go. It loved the E85. I gotta say, I think my mile per hour was right around 139, and I've gone and taken a look, and the DA was about 2,500, as I'll show you in the video on some of the time slips. So right around 2,500 DA, running 139 miles an hour in 200 DA on race gas, 109 octane race gas. It ran about 140. So we're only 1 mile an hour off in much worse weather. So that Renegade E85 gets a definite thumbs up from me. So now really all I have left to do is just, clean the car up a little bit. I put this burnout guard on there, and I'll link to it in the description. It works awesome. I'll put a video to the top where I actually tested it and showed you how well it worked. And then I'll go out and run the car through a pressure washer, one of those pressure washing places, and then a completely touchless car wash. I mean, nothing will touch the car but water and soap, and it will be good as new. I'll blow it off with my little DeWalt cordless blower and just dab the door panels and door seams and things like that. just to get the drips, and it will be good as new. The reason I'm able to do that is that ceramic coating I had put on the car probably 4 years ago. If you haven't done that, I highly recommend it. There's a version out now that's consumer grade that I have tested. I'll link to that too, and I'll put a description. Highly recommended. It makes the car so easy to clean. I don't think I have hand washed this car in 18 months. I literally just take it through the touchless car wash. A lot of people say, well, the soap's too harsh. Well, that's true for normal waxes and whatnot, but the ceramic coating is much stronger, and so you can actually go through those car washes without any trouble. So that's next on the agenda. Other than that, we're calling it a wrap. And one last thing I'll mention is if you have an opportunity to go to some car events, you know, with your Mopar or just any car event really, take the opportunity to do so. There's a million excuses on why to stay home, and I feel like some people do that sometimes, and after the event's over, they're like, man, I wish I could have made it. Well, you could have. We gotta have priorities. You gotta have things that relax you and make you happy in life. And I personally love going to these kinds of events and just hanging out with everybody. We had a blast. You really bond with people at these kinds of events, especially Challenger Fest. We've kind of kept it smaller and more grassroots, and so 12th year, and I know some of the people that have been to at least 10 of them. Some have been to all of them. So make sure you put some of these events on your calendar. We're going to start planning for Challenger Fest, what it'll be 2022 here pretty soon. So be keeping an eye out on that. It's challengerfest.net for the website, and then Facebook is just Challenger Fest. Follow the page if you haven't already. I hope you enjoyed the video. You really got to see quite a bit. We did Challenger Fest and Moparty, some racing, quite a variety of information. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Be sure to check us out on Instagram. It's at Speedy's_garage, as well as the website www.speedysgarage.net. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already, and hopefully I will see you out there.